All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you, just like me. First of all, folks, thanks for tuning into the channel and subscribing. I don't say it enough, but I really appreciate everybody who watches the videos and subscribes to the channel. I know some days my content's a little but it's tough to do this every day. I love doing it, but sometimes there's just not a lot to talk about in the world of classic rock. Um, I like this band a lot, the Prowlers. These guys reached out to me. It's how you do it, by the way. You become a patron for $1 a month. And even if you don't hang out forever, you can get over there and shoot me a message, hopefully at least pay your dues for a month or two, and then politely back out of the room, right? But these guys are really good. It's blues rock. It is organic, no overdubs on the Prowlers, and they have a whole bunch of other things other than this first album, which you can find over on Spotify. In fact, they have this great new video out there that you should check out. It's called Den of Thieves, and it'll make you smile because it's the truth. Here's some more hard truth for Kiss fans. Gene Simmons apparently doesn't have any friends. It's not really a hard truth at all. Look, folks, Gene Simmons, the last couple of years, although you notice how everybody's kind of just, like I said earlier, like they back out of the room and they don't say anything anymore. I mean, this guy became like Fidel Castro for a few months, right? Basically telling everybody, if you don't go to Walgreens, you're going to die and you're going to cause other people to die as well, which, of course, we know. I think it's kind of like opposite day now. But funny thing is, nobody ever recants. Nobody apologizes. Nobody says, hey, you know what? Maybe I was a little too harsh on all those people that didn't want to do the thing, right? So Gene Simmons says, I don't have friends. The 73-year-old Kiss bassist vocalist, whose band is in the middle of the never-ending End of the Road tour, opened up about his lack of pals in the October/November issue of Goldmine, which is on newsstands now. Does anybody ever read like actual magazines anymore? It's kind of cool though. I mean, to get a magazine and actually read it. Even today, as I sit here, other than Paul, he's talking about Paul Stanley, and we only get together when we do stuff for the band. So in other words, he doesn't hang out with Paul when the band isn't doing stuff. How do I say this without sounding inhuman? He says, I don't have friends. Well, none of this is surprising to me. It just isn't. Based on the guy's persona, based on the fact that he seems like he's very authoritarian in his approach to even just Kiss fans, right? Look, Kiss is it a rock band? I don't know. It's a franchise, right? It's an organizing principle to make money. And Gene Simmons probably wouldn't argue with you on those points. If you said, yeah, I used to be into Kiss for the music, but now I like it in the same way that I enjoy like the World Wrestling Federation. It's kind of like the same thing. He continued, if friends mean, gee, I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon. Hey, do you want to come over and hang out? I'm more interested in what I want to do. I don't want to pretend that I'm interested in what you want to do because I am not. Now, some of this, don't spin this the wrong way. Some of this I can kind of understand. I really don't care about what you're up to because what you're up to isn't what I'm up to, right? So in the new normal, people really don't have relationships anymore the way they used to. And Gene was a big part of helping escalate and get that new normal out there so more people could be a part of it, right? I mean, here's the guy who was telling people that if they didn't go to Walgreens and do a certain thing, that they were basically like, hate to use this phrase because it's kind of popular right now, an enemy of the state. You're an enemy of the state if you vote a certain way. You're an enemy of the state if you don't buy into the globalist takeover of the planet. And they don't care. All they know is that they've got lots of money, they've got lots of fans, right? People will go see even the most auto-tuned, lip-synced, vocal tracked rock concert, if you want to call it that. At that point, it's more like a simulation. I mean, Kiss is like the early version of metaverse, right? They've been trying it out for quite some time now. I know they did the Dio hologram thing, and they're going to do more. They just are. Because you know what? There's nothing coming along to replace this. Actually, there is, but the powers that be, they won't highlight that stuff. They seem to want to focus on the past, and they want to prop up just all the traditional things without really understanding that, look, people are bored. They're tired. But there is a certain segment of the population who thinks that, hey, Kiss, they're in their own category. You're never going to see Kiss again, right? I got news for you. Kiss is going to continue. After this so-called end of the road tour, it'll continue in one form or not. Somebody will be hired to play the part of Gene. Somebody will be hired to play the part of Paul, or nobody will be hired and they'll use artificial intelligence. It's where we're headed. It's not really difficult to understand. By the way, Gene Simmons, this isn't the first time he's touched on the lack of friendships in his life. Back in 2006, at the time, he actually stated that his relationship with Paul Stanley was kind of lukewarm, and that, he just basically liked to work with Paul, and that was it. But, these days, these two guys have kind of, kept going. It's kind of like Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon, right? They probably really don't like each other, but they like the fact that they have this band, and they're willing to put aside their differences in order to keep the band or slash brand alive. I talk a lot about this stuff. I mean, if you're going to a Kiss concert and you're expecting this organic, from the heart, flaws in all kind of show, because I'm pretty tolerant when musicians, maybe they're not in the right key, or maybe they missed a guitar lick, or kind of, didn't play it the way, it can be played, like on the original record and so forth. I'm certainly one of those people that is forgiving in that way. But when it comes to like, hey, we're just not really a band, we're about being a show, it's not my cup of tea. I would rather pursue things that are unknown. For instance, people say, well, why'd you have this on? My band is better than these guys. Well, I don't know. I like the underdog, and I also like the fact that these guys are just playing it the old school way. That would be the Prowlers. So you can check the Prowlers out. You can check Kiss out, obviously, on their end of the road tour. Look, if you're looking for some nostalgia and this is like musical comfort food for you, I kind of get it, but I think there are other ways that you can express that and maybe not spend as much money in the process. So Gene Simmons has no friends, but he continues on with life, and he's very content to tell the world that he doesn't have any friends, which is really weird. I mean, if I didn't have any friends whatsoever, I don't think I would talk about it. But he's Gene Simmons. He kind of looks like a guy from South Boston, right? Who would would certainly, play a tune on his violin, if you know what I mean. If you were talking out of turn, or you weren't bowing or kissing the ring. I mean, when I hear this guy talk, I'm like, whoa, there's some other vibe here. It's like King Gene, right? And what Gene says, that's the end of it. No argument. Hence all of those crazy Twitter rants about all those people who don't agree with Gene when it comes to politics or medicine. And there are quite a few people out there who now can basically say, hey, Gene, I was right and you were wrong. Care to comment? Gene would say, nope, no way. And hence he decides to, just continue on as the way things have been. And this is how he can go out there and say, I don't have a lot of friends, and there's a reason why. So again, the Prowlers, this is great stuff. Guitar driven, blues oriented, rock and roll, people, old fashioned, old school. These guys play out quite a bit. If you're in the Chicagoland area, you should check them out. Just a really good band. And I would rather give the Prowlers my money than spending a fortune on Kiss. I know most of you disagree with that, but yeah, does it really matter at this point if you disagree? I mean, let's just be honest. Kiss is really kind of at the end of the road, literally and figuratively. But I'm sure they will continue, and there will be new Kiss people coming in at some point, and the brand will never die. That's the brilliance of Kiss.